Let me ask you this. Have you ever run into that frustrating scenario where you're trying to keep your acceptance rate high, but DoorDash hits you with one of those multi-stop deliveries? I'm talking about those 8, 10, 12-stop PetSmart orders. If you are somebody who cares about your acceptance rate, this scenario is extremely frustrating because you know it means that your acceptance rate is about to drop faster than a parachuter with technical difficulties. To put it simply, if the order had 8 stops and you declined it, that means that your acceptance rate could potentially fall up to 8 points. That, in my opinion, is BS. However, it's now a thing of the past. Before we go too far into this video, I want to talk about something new I'm going to try in this video and about 1 or 2 videos per week moving forward. You guys leave a ton of questions in the comments, and some of them I'd like to answer on camera as well as replying to you guys in the normal way. So stick around to the end of the video for that. Alright, let's get back to it. Have a look at this. I'd like to give a big shout out and thank you to Selena for letting me use the screenshot you're looking at. The email reads, "A change to acceptance rates. We recently made an update to ensure that every offer you receive, regardless of how many deliveries are included, will only count as one accept or decline towards your acceptance rate calculation. Before the update, an offer containing multiple deliveries counted as multiple accept or declines when calculating your acceptance rate. For example, if you had accepted or declined an offer with 8 deliveries, this used to count as 8 accepts or declines in your acceptance rate. How it works now. An offer containing multiple deliveries will only count as one accept or decline when calculating your acceptance rate. For example, if you accept or decline an order with 8 deliveries, this will only be considered as one accept or decline in your acceptance rate. We made this change after hearing feedback from Dashers about the frustration with sudden changes in acceptance rates. As a reminder, your acceptance rate is calculated based on your last 100 offers. You can check your latest ratings in the Ratings tab of your Dasher app. While I fully believe that acceptance rates shouldn't be a thing or ever be thrown in our face, this is a small fix to a much bigger problem. One thing I wish this email was a little more detailed about is how acceptance rates actually work. In fact, I found part of that email a little misleading. Let me know in the comments if you've ever tried to raise your acceptance rate, but it was going up far slower than you anticipated. I've never personally run into this, but I know why that happens. Let me explain. Your acceptance rate is calculated based on the last rolling 100 offers you've received. The offer you're currently looking at is being compared to the offer you looked at 100 orders back. If you accepted that 100th offer, but you declined this one, your acceptance rate will go down. But if you're replacing an accept with an accept, your acceptance rate won't go up. It'll stay the same. The only way your acceptance rate goes up is when you replace a decline with an accept. That's why, if you're somebody with an already high acceptance rate, it's pretty difficult to get it even higher. Now, in my market, I don't see a ton of offers that have a lot of stops. But, since they knock the pay down, I do see a lot of doubles, most of which I really don't want to take. Now, when I get a double that I'm not going to take, instead of it counting as 2 declines, it's only going to count as 1. Not that I really care, but you might. I've made it no secret. I can't stand DoorDash's acceptance rate games. They exist to get bad orders delivered cheap, and they do little if anything to reward drivers. But being is that the acceptance rate requirements are likely never going to go away, I view this as a small win for drivers. I'm of the opinion that multi-stop orders should have never counted as more than one accept or decline to begin with. If you agree with me, press the like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I can't speak for you, but when I see multi-stop orders, they're almost never worth it. These tend to be the orders that pay 50 cents a mile and typically take at least a couple of hours to complete. Look, I'm the guy who always calls DoorDash on their BS, but it's also important to me to be fair. So, with this update, they gave us an inch. The entire mile would have been getting rid of acceptance rate requirements altogether. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this change. Is it a step in the right direction, or is it nowhere near enough? If you made it this far, thank you. This is the first video where I'm going to answer a couple of comments in the video. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to respond to them in the traditional way. I just think it would be fun to put a couple of them up on screen and thank you guys for engaging with my videos. I want to start with Poppy Grandy 1971. The question is, so, do you hit decline or just let it time out? So that is a very good question, and it kind of depends on a few things. Number 1, am I moving or am I stationary when I get the offer? If I am moving, I, on DoorDash, will typically just let it time out as kind of retaliation for that long list of questions that I had to answer for the first 3 years I was driving. I do have the 2-tap decline now, so when I'm sitting, I always like decline. But it also kind of depends on how much the customer tipped. Probably not very cool of me, but whatever. So if they tipped well and I just don't want to take the order, I'll decline it. If they didn't tip well, I'll let it time out, and sometimes it comes back around to me and I repeat the process. The next question comes from Gig Grizzly. What's going on, man? So this is not gig related, but I thought it was a cool question and I'm going to answer it. So this says unrelated, but what music do you listen to when you drive? So I have quite a wide taste in music. I can appreciate everything from classic rock to metal, never country, and not really big on punk, but typically speaking, I'm playing some sort of hard rock or metal. What about you guys? Curious to know what you listen to. Let me know in the comment section. Is it audiobooks? Is it YouTube? Music? The final question comes from Melissa Vidal. My apologies if I'm mispronouncing the name. It says, essentially, why does Uber show $10 on the offer screen, but you only get paid $2 after the order is complete? That is a fantastic question, Melissa, and one that I will do my best to answer. So there's a couple of reasons that this can happen. The most common is that Uber Eats customers have 1 hour to adjust their tip. In that hour, they can add to, reduce, or completely remove it. So when they completely remove it or they reduce it, that's known as tip baiting. This is not very common, but basically the two reasons are either you got tip baited or the customer pulled the tip, but the more likely scenario is because they have that hour, you're only getting the base pay plus the mileage for the first hour or two after the delivery is complete. In my experience, it generally takes at least an hour and a half for the tip to come through. So don't panic if you don't see it immediately, because chances are it's going to take a little bit of time. If you guys are interested in me doing a quick video on what to do when you get tip baited so you can actually get your money back, let me know in the comments. Well, guys, that is going to about wrap up the video. If you haven't done so yet, please do consider pressing the like button and subscribing to my channel. My name is Zach. Take care.